Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Was Born 6 years earlier with the Mokuton and Sharingan. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other What Ifs on the other channels. I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto was a half immortal Osusuke, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And also I post the final episode of What If Naruto Was Banished and make Konoha regret it, so go ahead check out that and enjoy as well guys. And also go check out the new movie over Anime Prince and enjoy that as well guys. And remember, if you're new, yes I indeed have 4 channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado, let's jump right into this. Begin now guys. So, the last part that we left off, as Naruto was with me on top of the Hokage monument as he sat down with her, talking to her about the circumstances of them being together. However, she told him that she already liked him from before, and it doesn't matter what happened, she would still like him. And it was a little glad to know that she would be the first one, as that just made Naruto's feelings for her increase, as he held on to her and kissed her passionately. She'll be returning tomorrow and she'll be doing some work, so it'll be some time before he see her again. However, their feelings for one another had grown since Naruto had left the land of water, so there was nothing to worry about. So with that, some time passed, as Mikoto spoke to the Hokage along with Itachi about what was taking place. Yes, it was problematic and chaotic. It wasn't long before Fukaku decided to make his move. Yes, he was going to make his move, and that was a big one. With the clan of the Uchihas, however, Itachi, Naruto and Mikoto were there. It was their job to exterminate the members that were planning to set the coup on Konoha. All of the members that were involved were currently gathered. As Mikoto had to steal her emotion, so did Itachi. As they entered the room, she saw the tablet with the word of the Uchiha, the word that had corrupted so many, as she told Naruto to destroy it. A Rasengan later and the thing was in pieces. Chaos erupted as the battle started to happen all over. Fukaku ended up fleeing as Naruto went after him, as Naruto had set up a plan just in case the Onvus, leaving his marker all over as he was flashing towards them, catching up with Fukaku outside of the village. The beast inside of him, that being the 3 tails, wanted revenge. Seeing the Sharingan once again, it wanted to come out and lay waste to everything, especially Fukaku. However, Naruto kept his anger in check as their battle began. But the more they battled, the more angrier Naruto got. However, he was able to calm himself as he entered Sage mode. The battle intensified as Fukaku pulled off, showing that he had the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and he would not fail. But Naruto was immensely strong, able to keep up and clash with the man, forcing him back as the both of them end up in a critical move state. Naruto would have killed him, but someone arrived. When Mikoto arrived, she had sensed it as well. However, Naruto knew that chakra, it was the same one that was there that night when his father and mother were killed. The one that caused all of this as rage was in Naruto's eyes. He would find him and he would kill him. We then have a little time skip. Menma was now graduating from the academy. Yes, he was going to join a team in a week. As Naruto was not in the village at the moment, Menma was at school. Ino invited him to go and get some ramen. with Sakura as well. Sasuke and him were good friends, but Sasuke was already going home. The thing was, Menma had a crush on Sakura. She had her moments. Sometimes she was nice, sometimes she was just a bit too much, but he liked her. The thing was, Ino liked Menma. But Menma didn't seem to notice that at all. It doesn't matter how hard she tried, he didn't seem to notice that. He saw her as a friend. Upon returning home, Menma trained with Jiraiya, who was there, as Naruto had pawned his work off to him. Jiraiya had basically retired with Naruto handling most of his spy work. However, Naruto pawned the clan work off to him as he made his way towards Kiri, as he was spending some time with me. However, there were several things for them to discuss, but Naruto wanted to return home before Menma graduates, as he wanted to be there. As Mei had come to like the boy over the years, Menma was a sweet, kind child, so she would not take up so much of Naruto's time, as the both of them spent time together in a loving passion. However, at the end of it all, back at Konoha, Jiraiya was called in, as Shinobi could never truly retire, as they got information on one of Menma's teachers, that being Mizuki. Turns out that he was working for Orochimaru. The snake was up to something, and they had to stop him. So yeah guys, basically let's left off. You guys can switch across the playlist for yourself, and yeah, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 4 channels which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, smash that red subscribe button and become part of the Nikki family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this now guys. We begin this episode with Naruto, as Naruto stood in a clearing, in the halfway point between Hinokuni and Konoha. Exactly in the halfway point. A few steps behind him was Mei, as she waited patiently for her husband-to-be. However, their traveling companion back to Konoha, Zabuza Mamakai, was beyond antsy by this point. What exactly are we waiting here for? Just be patient. They will be here shortly, said Naruto, as Zabuza grunted. Trust me, I'd rather be on our way to Konoha, but our delayed stay in Kira forced me behind schedule. Mei gave him a weak glare from behind, as she knew that he was directing that towards her, in some way or form, as she forcefully fight back the retort, to say that he was not complaining when they were spending time together about a schedule. However, she knew that this was not the time or place, as she looked at the blonde standing there. He was wearing a pair of black pants, taped around the calves, that went down into his black shinobi sandals, a black long-sleeve shirt, with a crimson swirl of the Uzumakis on either shoulders, as his green Jonin vest also possessed a symbol on the back as well. But her favorite part of the attire was a gift that she gave him when they were in her home village. It was a white battle cloth hanging from his waist, blue flames licking the bottom with the description of a snarling wolf, and the newly instated symbol of the reborn Uzumaki clan. The crimson swirl on the front of the cloth, shining out in a brilliant blue lotus. He had wore it non-stop since she gave it to him, as he complained that he didn't get her something so nice. Just as her eyes were about to wander over him for a third time, she heard rustling in the trees, as someone burst from above. They quickly landed and kneeled right in front of Naruto. The first thing she noticed was the girl long red hair, and the strange outfit that she wear. If she had to compare it to anything, it would be what Naruto described Orochimaru's usual attire was. Not that she knew how the boy knew that, but she just chalked that up to him now being the spy master of their village. Report. His voice was stern and commanding. Orochimaru has received word that your brother was the one to stop the spy, Mizuki, from stealing the forbidden scroll of sealing. She looked up, her brown eyes focusing on him. However, there was a new scar on her chin. He assumed that the snake had taken it out on his subordinates. As Naruto had to rein in his anger as he saw the scar. What of his future plans, Naruto asked. They're all in this scroll. I don't want to speak any detail aloud, she said. Very well, stand up and turn around, Naruto said, as Mei raised the eyebrow at that order. If for some reason that he suspects you, the seal I'm placing on your lower spine will allow you to call me for evacuation. Has he done something new to your curse mark? Naruto asked. The girl, who seemed to be 2 years younger than Naruto, was blushing like mad. As his hands worked over her back, she was glad that he could not see her face. However, she could feel the glare on her back from the other woman in the clearing. He's unlocked the second form of my mark. If it wasn't for your seal, I'm sure that I would have lost my mind to that damn disgusting chakra that he brings out. As Naruto nodded, this will be the last time that we meet like this until things start up. I don't want him discovering you or any of our other friends. Teiwaya-chan, he said. Yes, Naruto-sama, he said, as he could hear the smile in her voice. As he pat her on the back, she sped off. So, now we can head out, Zabuza said as Naruto groaned at his voice, before rolling his eyes and nodded. As the group fell into pace, Mei drifted behind a bit as she was by Naruto's side. You know she's got a thing for you, right? Said Mei. As Naruto raised the eyebrow towards her. You're kidding, right? How would you figure something like that? Call it woman intuition. At least she's cute, said Mei, making Naruto raise the eyebrow once again. Oh, don't act so innocent and oblivious. That stopped working on me a long time ago, Naruto-kun. You utterly confused me, said Naruto, shaking his head. Time skip. Menma sat proudly, a foxy smile on his face. As he sat, his shining Konoha headband gleaming pridefully. It was the following day after the exams, and the ceremony that his brother had actually made it on time for. Every new mentee genin was here waiting for team assignments. It was nearly a week after Mizuki had attacked Menma, after stealing a scroll and making his way out. However, Menma had kicked his ass. In short, Menma was happy with himself. For the past week, greatly so. As per usual, Sasuke was sleeping undisturbed to his left. Sakura was googly-eyed for the Uchiha onto his right, and Ino was sitting directly behind him, though he was unaware of Ino googly eyes looking at him per usual. As Aruka chose that moment to walk in, a clipboard under his arm, a smile on his face. Good morning, Genin, he said, as each of them greeted him back with a smile. Congratulations once more for all of you for passing. It's been a joy having you all here for the past few years. Moving forward into your career, I want you all to know that things will be getting much harder for you. The path of a shinobi is not an easy one, and really, is things never dangerous in our chosen life path. I want you all to heed this warning, do your best, and learn everything your Jonin captain has to teach you. It may just save your life someday. With his speech over, he decided to call out the names of the team assignments. As he went from 1 to 6, Menma did not hear his name as he sat quietly. When he reached Team 7 though, Sakura Haruno, Uchiha Sasuke, and Menma Uzumaki, your Jonin instructor will be Kakashi Hatake. As Sakura cheered that she was on the same team as Sasuke, even though she had to wait through the other 6 team assignments to find out. Sasuke merely smirked back at Menma, who shot him back that foxy grin as they bumped fists. Team 8 will be Shino Aberami, Hinata Hayuka, and Kiba Inuzaka. Your Jonin sensei will be Kurna Iwai, as Akamar yipped on top of Kiba's head. Team 9 is still in rotation from last year, so Team 10 will be Choji Akimichi, Nara Shikamaru, and Ino Yamanaka. Your Jonin sensei will be Asuma Saratobi. And with that, my job comes to an end, he said. Your Jonin sensei will arrive shortly to pick you up. Good luck you all, he said. Man, why can't I be on a team with Menma-kun? You got all the luck, forehead. Ino pouted cutely. You can have him, Sakura said, making Menma pout. I'm just happy to be on a team with Sasuke-kun, she said, with a big smile. As Sasuke gave her a glare, but she wasn't paying attention. Yo, Team 7, I'll be leading you to your meeting place. Menma looked up in shock as his older brother was there, with a Kakashi-style eye smile. Everyone started to whisper, as they saw who it was. Was it something I said, Naruto asked. You kinda got that effect, big brother. Even if half of them already knows you, Menma said, as he walked up and stood beside his brother, Sasuke following shortly. Sakura-chan, you coming? He asked, as she was still sitting down. Pinky, I don't have all day, said Naruto. She quickly bolted to his side. My name is Sakura, not Pinky. And my brother's name is Menma, not Baka, said Naruto. as both of them glare at one another. As Menma was rather surprised that Sakura was able to glare back at his brother. However, he was more surprised when his brother smiled. "You got guts, Pinky. I respect that." "Sakura," she said. "Yeah, whatever, Pinky," said Naruto. Menma was positive that he will be the one receiving the punishment of Naruto calling her Pinky. He knew Sakura too well. Roughly an hour later, the group sat on the roof of the academy as they patiently wait, well, for their wayward sensei. Only one person though, and that was Menma. Even Naruto was glaring at, well, anything, at Sakura, glare at the blonde. Sasuke was, well, asleep. "Thank you for picking up the students, Naruto," Kakashi said as he arrived. "A black cat crossed my path and he had to duck as Naruto launched a kunai to his head. You've become rather lazy since leaving the Anbu. I suppose that is the reason why the old monkey asked me to help with your team." As Naruto glared at him. "Anyway, Sasuke, Menma, you already know Kakashi. Pinky, meet Kakashi Hatake." "Sakura," Sakura said, yelling her name. "What's Pinky problem?" asked Kakashi, as it seemed like steam started to leave her ears. "Damn it, my name is Sakura Haruno," she yelled, in frustration as she ended up punching Menma, having to let her anger out somewhere. As Naruto pulled a kunai and flicked it towards her, the bottom of the kunai knocked right in her head, knocking her over. "Bad, Pinky," said Naruto. "I believe you went a bit too far," said Kakashi, looking visibly displeased. "She's fine, look. She's already getting back up." As Kakashi turned to see the girl return back to her spot, as she was now sitting calmly. "Sorry, Naruto-sama," she said, even causing Naruto to raise the eyebrow, as she simply went quiet. "Alright, now that we're all settled, Sasuke, wake up." Sasuke propped open his eyes as he yawned. "Let's move on to introductions, including with my assistant, Jonin instructor," as he pointed towards the oldest Uzumaki. "Damn that monkey for making me do something so troublesome," Naruto whispered, causing Kakashi to chuckle. "I will start us off, and Naruto, you follow," he said, "and then the rest of you," as he gave a eye smile. "My name is Kakashi Hatake. I like a lot of different things. I dislike a few things. I don't entirely have a dream for the future of sorts," he said. And he was finished, causing the others to sweat drop, even Naruto. As Naruto sighed deeply, "I guess that means it's my turn," he said. "My name is Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. I'm the head of the Uzumaki clan. I like nature, ramen, Mei-chan, and my family," said Naruto. "I dislike those who judge without knowing, fangirls, and traitors. As for my dream for the future, I wish to find everlasting peace for the Shinobi world, and see my clan reborn," he said, as he smiled towards Sakura. "Ladies first, Pinky," he said. Sakura weakly glared at the nickname. However, she now knew better than to piss off their secondary sensei. "My name is Sakura Haruno," she said. "I like reading, refining my chakra control, and dango." If Naruto gathered anything from the side glances that she was sending towards Sasuke, she left out something out of that list of hers of likes. "I dislike loud and rude people, and people that underestimate others. As for my dream, I want to be a medical ninja and marry someone special to me," she said, once again glancing towards a yawning Uchiha, who seemed anything but impressed. "My turn," said Menma, as he spoke up with a foxy grin. "My name is Menma Namikaze Uzumaki. I like ramen, training, and my family. I dislike the minutes it takes to cook ramen. I also dislike when Bachan don't let me eat ramen. And I hate perverts and traitors. I dream to help my brother with his dreams, and take the hat, and become Hokage of this village," he said, with a proud smile. Sasuke grunted before he continued, his tone much more subdued than Menma. "My name is Sasuke Uchiha. I like some things. I dislike some things, some more greater than others. I especially dislike traitors." As Naruto watched him, it would seem like the youngest Uchiha was holding his father's actions close in his mind. "I don't really have a dream. More of an ambition to bring a certain man to justice," he said, as he stared at the ground, a pair of Mangekyou flashing through his mind. As Naruto and Kakashi shared a look, as Naruto did not like the goal of his best friend kid brother Not in the slightest. He will be sure to keep a close eye on him. Well, I think that sums us up, said Naruto. Good. I want each of you to head home. Tomorrow it will be you three and I. Having a test tomorrow. At Training Ground 7, said Kakashi. He waved before poofing away. Well, I have other places to be, said Naruto. I will see you all later, Pinky, he said, making Sakura glare at him once again. Should you all pass Kakashi test tomorrow, come home with Menma, and I'll introduce you to someone that may be able to help one of you with your goals, said Naruto. As he vanished in a lightning sunshine, Sakura was mystified by it, as she's never seen something like that before. So, said Menma with a smile, how about we go for our first dinner? As a team, he said. No ramen, Sasuke immediately said, making Menma pout. Fine, we can go to the Akemichi barbecue. I'll even pay, he said, earning a smile from the Uchiha. You win, Sakura-chan, Menma asked. His smile, for the first time towards the pink head, was infectious. Sure, I didn't know that you actually eat anything other than ramen, she said, with a small laugh. As Menma chuckled, as much as I like to, Bachan said I would be a midget if I do. And she was reminded that he indeed was the tallest of them, only by a few inches of course. Hurry up you two, Sasuke called out, as he had already jumped towards the other building. Sweet, taking the Konoha Speedway, Menma said. Hope you can keep up, Sakura-chan, said Menma. Her green eyes widened as he sped off to catch up. Hey, wait a damn minute, she said. All the while they were unaware that they were being watched by their pair of senseis. Maybe they won't be as hard to manage as you originally thought. Naruto smiled, knowing that he was quite possibly wrong. Give them time, their faults will show. And we'll be correcting them. Kakashi smiled at that. Maybe. They just might pass my test on the first chance. As Naruto laughed, all of my team grew up together, and it took us till the second try to pass. They will be the same, he joked, remembering the good old days. My genuine team was much the same, Kakashi said. Anyways, don't forget to send a clone to watch the happenings of the test tomorrow. Nah, I'll be there in person with Mei-chan. She'll want to see how Menma does, and considering that she doesn't have any meetings, I won't be able to talk her out of it, said Naruto with a laugh. Speaking of Mei-chan, she's been waiting for me long enough, said Naruto. See you later. With that he vanished in a Harasshin. As Kakashi leaned back on the roof and relaxed to enjoy his Ichi tactics, the wolf, and the water priestess, he released a perverted giggle. Jiraiya-sama is quite lucky that Naruto has not yet read his latest installment. At that very moment Jiraiya sneezed. However, he was currently at the hot spring spying on some ladies, and he sneezed as he alerted all of them of his presence. Oh shit, he thought. Back with Naruto, he reappeared within his room, smiling at the Mizukage who was curled up on the couch, reading the scroll that was given to him by his contact a few days prior. He was teaching her his coding system, her being his future wife. She will have to know this, especially if they want to send private messages. Welcome home, Naruto-kun, she said with a smile, as she glanced up towards him. You're getting better at sense than me, Mei-chan, said Naruto, as he took a seat next to her and pulled her to him. How goes your learning, he asked. It's not too complex or too simple of a thing to learn, she said, as she nuzzled into him. How goes Menma's team, she asked him. Well, I think I left quite the impression on the girl of the team, Sakura Haruno, he said with a chuckle, making her raise an eyebrow towards him. I threw the blunt end of a kunai at her forehead after she hit Menma. She seemed to be obsessed with Sasuke, but I think I can work the fangirl tendency out of her. Imagine when they find out how calculative you are to purposely target such a thing, said Mei, as she knew what he was leading towards. Her herself being a kunoichi hated the idea of fangirls, especially going out on missions in the real world. They were just too immature. They were childish, and they were unable to handle certain aspects of the shinobi career. Well, I also offered that Menma would bring her here tomorrow, should they pass to meet Bachan, hoping that she would help the girl with her dream. She wishes to be a medic, said Mei. Yes, and of course, Tsunade will be the best to help her with that dream. But the decision is up to Tsunade if she helps or not. So then you intend to focus on Menma's training while Kakashi helps Sasuke and Tsunade helps Sakura. No, I'll be helping each of them equally. I don't like shaking responsibility, and despite their faults, all of them has great potential. Said Mei as she leaned back into him. You want to go out for some drinks? She asked him. As Naruto simply shrugged, I mean, if your only intention is to get in my pants, I have plenty of drinks here. He laughed as she slapped him on the chest. Damn pervert, she grumbled, as she got up to put on some comfortable clothing. I was kidding, said Naruto. And it's not like you were not holding on to that as your endgame, said Naruto, with a chuckle, as he took off the flap jacket and the waistcloth. As he placed them next to his display, where his mother, Katana, rested. Mei smiled as she watched as he folded the cloth and gently placed it down. He then took off his shirt, exposing those ripped muscles that she liked so much. You're gawking again, said Naruto, as Kazuma threw her dress towards his head. Now it was his turn to gawk as the dress fell from his head, revealing herself to him, as Naruto just kept on staring. You're gawking again, she said, with a laugh. Oh, how she loved the way his eyes drank in her figure like this was the first time he was seeing her. As she pulled a pair of black leggings on, as she took the moment to saunter over towards him, still shirtless. Later, my wolf, she said. Now get dressed. As she gave him a kiss against his cheek. Damn minx, Naruto grumbled, as he went and pulled on a long-sleeve orange shirt. As Mei smiled as she moved towards the closet and pulled out a blue, long-sleeve shirt with the Uzumaki sign on the back. It was clearly too big for her, as she snuggled up into it. As she always did this, however, Naruto actually kind of loved it, that she wore his clothing to be comfy. You ready? As Naruto smiled and pulled her towards him, and placed a kiss on her lips. After a moment he pulled back giggling. And what was that for? You know what it's for, said Naruto, you damn minx. As he took her hand and led her out. Bachan, he said, we're going out for the night. Naruto called out as they got to the entryway of the home. Don't worry, I won't let him get too drunk, snapped Bachan. Mei called out. It still felt strange, addressing her idol as such. However, the woman had insisted since their marriage was announced to the public. Thanks, Mei-chan. Tsunade called out. As Naruto glanced towards me, she simply giggled and pulled him out of the house. Time skip. The next morning, Naruto was in a tree. As he was away from any prying eyes, a bottle of sake in his right hand, and asleep in Mei, as her head rested on his shoulder. He held his Sharingan eye close, the eye proving to increase the severity of his headache, as his blue eye focused on the 3 Genins that he and Kakashi would be responsible for. I see I was not the only one with the idea of watching our brother trial. A voice spoke up, as Naruto simply grunted in the man-general vicinity. Long night of drinking, Itachi said, as he had seen the blonde like this on more than one occasion. As Naruto nodded his head, extending the state bottle towards the Uchiha clan ear. It was what Jiraiya and Tsunade taught him was a polite thing to do. Itachi shrugged as he actually accepted and took a small sip. Couldn't have been too long a night if you're still drinking, Itachi said, earning a small chuckle from Naruto. Best thing for a hangover is to drink it away. Or so Jiraiya says, said Naruto with a chuckle, as Mei started to wake up. Is that co-sensei of yours still not here, said Mei, as she yawned a bit, having enough time to sleep her hangover away. It's the Kakashi way, both Naruto and Itachi said at the same time, both of them nodding sagely, for whatever reason. I'll take that as a sort, said Mei as she was honestly not used to the man. He was different in the rebellion, but she supposed it was a different time now. What have those 3 been doing? For the most part they've been planning their vengeance against Kakashi, but they've also put a plan together. Some kind of plan. I honestly wasn't paying a lot of attention, and my Sharingan was increasing my headache, so I could not read their lips. Down below, Sakura looked at Menma like he had lost his mind, or like she has never seen him before. He was not being the pranky, loudmouth idiot that she had come accustomed to in their academy days. He was displaying a tactical mind, and a sharp one at that, as they talk over their plan. Apparently, Menma deduced that this will be a test to see how well they work as a team. Sasuke, quickly able to deduce that on his own as well, as he smirked. Okay, So what exactly are we gonna do to show teamwork exactly? Sakura asks, as she wanted to see how far he had planned for. Well, Kakashi know that Sasuke and I can work together. So after we first take our chance, we will then hide and regroup, and the two of us will engage. Then that will give you the opening to go after whatever he's holding over our heads. I assume that it might be bells. The bell test is a time-honored test that the second Hokage introduced when training with the third Hokage. Just about every Jonin sensei use it. I remember my big brother Naruto having to do it with Mikoto Bachan when I was younger. He paused as it seemed Sakura had a question to ask. How are you so certain that he's gonna use his test, even if it's tradition? It's Kakashi sensei. He's too lazy to come up with anything else. Menma said as he deadpanned, as Sasuke nodded in agreement. Sakura had no means to argue that point. So far the man has shown to be rather lazy. So, what if this plan doesn't work, or if it does? Sakura said as she moved on to her next question. Well, from what I remember, there's only going to be 2 bells, for 2 of us to pass and 1 of us to fail. But that's a trick in it. One of us will have to willingly give up our bell, to show that we rather stick together as a team than go on our own. Because it's all about teamwork. Even if we don't take the bell, we need to prove that we can work as a team together. Menma said, as Sasuke spoke. That is all fine and dandy, but all of this is a waste of time if Kakashi doesn't remember to show up, he said with a grumble. Touché, said Menma, as Kakashi was still not here yet. Time skip, an hour and a half later. The Genin trial has been going on for about 30 minutes now. The 3 of them panted as they stand shoulder to shoulder. Kakashi was smiling at them, like he hadn't made them wait for at least 3 hours, his orange book in his hand. He was honestly surprised to see them working together like this. Menma and Sasuke not really as surprised but Sakura, putting her infatuation away and working as hard as the 2 boys. That was more than he could have expected. Maybe he should have actually bet Naruto. These 3 were passing so far. But he still wanted to see if they can actually get the bells from him. And that meant no more games. With that thought, he clapped his book shut as he returned it back to his kunai pouch and started to lift his headband. Menma and Sasuke were the first to move, both of them knowing what that headband hid away. Sasuke was the first to make it as he sent a high axe kick towards Kakashi's head. As Menma came shortly behind him, sending his own kick towards the man's thigh in order to buckle his knees. However, Kakashi was quickly able to block both attacks and pull up his headband anyway. No more games, Genin, he said. It's time for make or break. Menma jumped forward as he continued his attempts. However, Kakashi countered him like it was nothing, as he was even moving faster than before. However, Kakashi missed Sasuke flipping away, as he blurred through hand signs. Fire style! Fireball jutsu! Kakashi's eyes widened. Menma was still in the way and he would get hit as well. Kakashi kicked Menma, however, he poofed away. A clone? When? Kakashi thought. However, he had no time to think. He had to move away from the fireball coming towards him. As he placed Chakra to his feet and leaped up in the sky, jumping over the fireball. His eyes widened in shock. There was a barrage of kunais came towards him, as he saw that they came from Sakura. As a proud smile came on his face by their tactic, before he swapped with a log, as he got pelted by the weapons. He was appearing and he was back on the attack, as he went toward the team weakest member, that being Sakura. However, several Menmas exploded from the earth. So you got better with the Shadow Clone Jutsu. No wonder you were able to beat a Chunin. Kakashi says he smiled proudly, as Menma jumped in, all of his clones moving in. Sasuke joining the fray, and Sakura jumping back to throw kunais at him if he escaped. However, her green eyes widened because in a second, there were 6 pops, and Sasuke and Menma were sent sailing past her. Just you and me now, Pinky. Once again, she was annoyed by the nickname, as she pulled a fresh kunai out, as she took a taijutsu stance. It's an academy stance. However, it's one of the best they taught, and it seems that she's quite confident in it. Kakashi thought as he watched her, as he pulled a kunai of his own and gripped onto it. Come on, show me what you can do, he taunted. As they traded weapons for a moment, Kakashi was surprised her skills were higher than he thought. He was mildly impressed with the girl after this display. However, he saw several openings and weaknesses. He kept them in mind to correct them later, but he was sure that the audience up there saw it as well. He broke in her guard and was about to kick her away, but suddenly, she was swapped with Menma as Menma grabbed his leg. 3 clones poofed in. Kakashi was surprised. They all leaped towards him. He could have stopped them, but he watched as they all piled on top of him, one of them grabbing the bells and leaping away. As the clone jumped over and handed back to the original, who walked back over, as he handed one to Sakura and handed one to Sasuke. Up on the branch in the trees, Naruto sat. As he was looking down with a proud smile, Mei and Itachi doing the same. Well, it seems like you two are stuck with them now, said Itachi. I guess you will have to spend more time away from me when I'm here in the village, Mei said with a pout. As Naruto looked towards her, is all you think about dates and monopolizing my time when you're here? She got a thoughtful look as she glanced towards the heavens. Yes, she said to him. As Naruto rolled his eyes and chuckled at her, before he gave her a kiss on the cheek. You damn minx, he said to her. Looks like Kakashi has finished his speech and they're leaving already, Itachi said, as he was far used to these two being all lovey-dovey. Kakashi is a cheapskate. They will be heading to Ichiwaka Ramen, said Naruto, as he got up and held a hand out to Mei, helping her up, as she was looking forward to having this celebration with her brother-in-law team. You coming? Naruto said as he looked over towards Itachi. No, I have to return to my mother. She's still training me in the proceedings of the clan head. Tell Sensei I'll come by and see her soon. I'm sure that she can use a distraction from her new busy schedule, said Naruto, as Naruto laughed, earning a thankful smile from his friend. Be sure to take care of my little brother when the real missions begin, he said, as both him and Naruto bumped fists. As if he was my own, said Naruto. And with that, the 3 of them disappeared. It wasn't long before they landed in front of the ramen stand. Both Naruto and Mei, Itachi made his way off, as they could hear Menma's voice from inside already. As Mei led the way, as she snuck up behind Menma and surprised him with a hug. Mei-ni-chan, he said, what are you doing here? You didn't honestly think that we weren't watching, did you? Naruto answered for her, as he smiled at all of them with pride. I'm very proud of all of you did today in your trials. As such, lunch is on me, he said, as he glanced towards Sakura, and don't worry, I'll make good on my promise that I made yesterday. Sakura beamed at that, as she already had a good idea who she was going to meet. The only medical ninja that she knew in the Uzumaki clan was Senju Tsunade, her all-time idol. Thank you, Naruto-sensei, she said. Sure thing, Pinky, said Naruto as he patted her on the head, before taking the open seat beside his brother, as Mei sat next to him. As they talk, and they wait for their bowls to arrive. This was the first time when the meals came Sakura did not see Menma eating like a madman. It seems that the Mizukage taught him some manners. Well, now she was wondering how much that she did not know exactly about him, especially during the match. When Kakashi was coming after them, he had grabbed her bridal style and jumped away. He held her so secure and protectively. She instantly stomped that thought down though. There was absolutely no way she was having an interest in Menma, right? Besides, what would Ino think? She could not do that to her oldest friend. She glanced towards him as she saw a bright smile on his face. It was so infectious. Okay, maybe no, she told herself. She wanted to pull her hair out of the idea, let alone the internal battle of emotions that these things just brought up. Time skip. Bachan, I got someone here that you may want to meet, said Naruto, as he held the door open for Mei, Menma, and Sakura. I'm drinking, you come to me. He heard her call back, as he chuckled and led the way into the house. Sakura looked around in wonder as they walked through the house. Her eyes then landed on the legendary medic herself. There were 2 other people there as well. I want you to meet one of my students and Menma teammate, Haruna Sakura. She's got interest in becoming a medical ninja. As Nede was sitting in the couch with a saucer of sake, Jiraiya head was resting on her lap as he seemed to be sleeping. Shizune was in the opposite couch. So, I guess you want to guilt trip me into training her, huh, brat? States Nede. No, I won't guilt trip you, said Naruto. but I'll ask you to consider it. I think you will be impressed in her control. As he waved his hand for Soccer to find a seat as Menma did the same. She doesn't got much of a reserve, but she's got enough to work with. And as how I'm gonna train their team, it won't be a problem for too long. Snavy looked the girl over. She was nervous, extremely so, but she still tried to put up a brave front and smile. She wasn't well built, most likely due to some stupid dieting routine that no ninja in her lifetime ever actually needed. However, Snavy could see an underlying formation of muscles there, uncommon for civilian members at her age. So what makes you think I should train you? Snavy asked in a blatant tone. Soccer was caught off guard. Does that mean she was willing to train her? I'm obedient, and I'll do whatever you deem necessary, Sned-sama. I also work hard, and if you're willing to give me a chance, I'll show you, she said. Snavy felt the determination coming from the girl. I also am not the strongest, but if I become your student, I'll be able to help Sasuke and Menma in a better way. Said Snavy as she looked at the girl. Given your redeeming qualities and your blaring weakness, you're very aware of your own shortcomings, and I can appreciate that. Should I agree to this, my first order would be, you stopping those pointless diets that you put yourself through. You will need a balanced, full meal if you want me to make you something. Next, you will address me as Shishao. And lastly, if you understand when I say I'm gonna work you into the ground, I mean it. You may even want to ask one of the brats to prepare a room for you to stay here from time to time. Sakura swallowed thickly as she understood what she meant. She would be so battered and tired that she wouldn't have the strength to get home. However, a look of pure determination appeared in her eyes. I understand, Shishao, she said, as Sakura bowed her head. Maybe your grandson was right about this one. Good. Now why don't you and Menma go run off and do something? He can give you the tour. As she shushed the two away. Once they were gone, Snavy turned. If I break her, don't blame me, she said. As Naruto chuckled. At least I know that you'll put her back together, Bachan, said Naruto. As Snavy looked towards me, I suspect that the two of you enjoyed your night last night. As Mei nodded happily, nuzzling into Naruto. Good. But please make sure that your shinobis know to clean up any mess that they make on the grounds. The pervert slipped on a patch of ice this morning. Trust me, as funny as it was, I already have to heal the idiot more than enough. As Mei couldn't help but giggle in response, I'll go speak to Zabuza-chan and Haku about that immediately. I do have a meeting with Hokage shortly, so I need to find them anyway. As she stood up and looked towards Naruto, I suppose you'll be heading towards the Uchiha compound. I may train Menma and Sakura a couple of hours before, said Naruto, as she leaned down and kissed him. I'll see you tonight then. Tonight, said Naruto with a smile as he watched, as she went on her way. You're drooling, said Snavy, as Naruto actually went up to wipe his mouth, not catching his grandmother being sarcastic. Man, she said with a roll of her eyes, as she glanced down towards the sleeping pervert. I see that my little brother has gotten quite lucky in the relationship department, Shizune said, making Naruto smile. I'll happily agree with you there, big sister Shizune, said Naruto. And now if you excuse me, I got 2 kids to find. As Snavy turned towards Shizune, looking towards her eldest student. When are you going to try and go for a man, she said. I'm stuck with a pervert. Don't you have anyone in mind? Shizune blushed brightly as she waved her hands. Sned-sama, don't worry, she said. I have someone in mind. As Snavy gave her a look, she was being quite secretive about it. If you say so. Time skip. It's been some time since I've seen you drink, Sensei, said Naruto, as he was at the back porch of the Uchiha compound, main house. As Mikoto downed what was at her lips before, pouring 2 more, one for herself and one for him. Well, it's been some time since you come and seen me. This has become a ritual after dealing with a day's work. As Naruto could smell the alcohol coming from her breath, with his enhanced senses. So, on top of being a clan head, you're looking forward to becoming a sensei as well. Well, not entirely, but my clan, if you might call it that, is quite small at this stage, and has much less paperwork than you imagine. As he accepted the saucer from her, most of my work come from the network, and as much as Erajiji complained about it, I have help there, said Naruto. She grunted, in a fashion similar to Itachi. Any news on my little problem, she asked. No, he has not resurfaced since that night. Begrudgingly, I must admit I'm surprised that he's capable of avoiding my network, said Naruto. Even some of the hardest targets were always found something by his network. But the man could not hide forever. But I suppose it has more to do with that masked bastard than his own skills. Do you think it's possible my husband was the reason why that man was able to stage the attack all those years ago? I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I think Fukaku didn't start any partnership with the unknown masked man until the effects of the attack had been taken out on the Uchiha clan. As the sadness from Mikoto was well open on display, I should have fought his rise to clan head all those years ago. Maybe I could have saved him from this path. As she tried to lay the blame at her own feet, something that Naruto was not really happy about. The path that he chose was one of his own, Mikoto sensei. As Naruto hated to see her like this, but he knew the effects that this had on her. It wasn't your fault. Maybe you should take some time off and allow Itachi to take over for a bit. It sounds like you could use it. Mikoto laughed lightly at that, as she downed her saucer once again. Itachi himself would say that he's not ready for such a thing. Was I ready for such a responsibility? To manage clan accounts and funding at the age I was elevated to clan head status. To be responsible for my entire family and their well-being. Mikoto sighed his harsh tone. She hadn't meant to hit a nerve like that, but she supposed that he was actually mad about her not taking care of herself, rather than calling Itachi's abilities into question. I suppose you have a fair point. I guess I'm just reluctant to let my own son take the reins of the clan. I want to keep him away from the same dark path. As Naruto scoffed at that as he downed his own sake, Itachi would never betray the village. Even if forced to make it look that way by some insane plot, he would still hold this village deep within his heart. That's because it was the way you showed him, said Naruto. If he ever did, it wouldn't be any fault of your own either, but I would still make him regret that decision. The exact way I'll make Fukaku regret, with my own hand, said Naruto, as his mangita flared with anger. Mikoto smiled a bit. You're so much like her, it's uncanny. As Naruto paused, knowing exactly who she meant. There was only one person that he missed so dearly, that she would bring up in a way like this to disguise her own hurt. To think that you would wonder at some point if they would be proud of the man that you are, the morals that you uphold, and the response to the darkness that you take care of in this world. Her smile became fond as she recollects certain memories. I still have my doubts. I've done many things that go against your ways, said Naruto in a somber tone. However, it was now her turn to scoff at him. Still an idiot deep down. My cute little Jenny, she said, as she took the moment to scoot closer to him, moving the safe bottle to her other side as she rested her head on his shoulder. She had done things like this often in the past. You're a strong man, Naruto-kun, she said, and I must admit I find myself jealous of the luck of the Mizukage. Sensei, Naruto said, his face actually taking on a bit of color, as she poured them another stick of saucer without even moving that much. Let a hurt woman have her musings, Naruto-kun, she said, as she leaned closer to him. As Naruto was not sure what was happening at the moment, as he wondered must be the sake talking. However, he then remembered something that Jiraiya told him. People speak their true heart when they're under the influence. But there was no way that this woman, his mother, his best friend mother, and his sensei would have those kind of feelings for him. That was beyond anything the blonde could even think about. As she downed another saucer, as Naruto followed the example and downed one of his own. However, he felt her move at his side, as lips pressed against his cheek. Mikoto-sensei, said Naruto, stumbling a bit. Just Mikoto is fine, Naruto-kun, she said, as she returned her head to his shoulder. It might be the sake, but I find myself wondering what it would be like to have you to myself sometimes. Naruto's eyes widened at what she just said. However, as he turned to face her, he heard snoring. She was asleep. I guess it was just the sake talking, Mikoto-sensei. Or the exhaustion, said Naruto. He set the saucer down before he scooped her up in his arms, as he easily carried her into what could have been his second home. As he brought her to the bedroom wondering where Itachi and Sasuke was. As Naruto let her down, he could not deny the fact that he'd known for very long just how beautiful she was, as a smile escaped his lips. I would be the lucky one, Mikoto, said Naruto. With that he closed the door and hurried Shin away. Time skip. 1 month later. It had been a month. The team had finally lost it as Kakashi chuckled sheepishly. The Genin squad was blatantly glaring at the Hokage. Even the respectful Sakura seemed to had enough of it, as she was glaring up at the grandfatherly Hokage, along with her teammates. The man simply looking at the two Ko-senseis, with a smile on his face. Why am I not surprised that it's a team belonging to you two? It's so lively. Well, what do you two think? Are they ready for a C-rank mission? Harrison said. Naruto and Kakashi exchanged a look as they looked over their squad. Menma was still the tallest this year, even wilder than Naruto owned, as he was wearing a black pants with an orange jacket to a white shirt underneath. He had two Fuma shurikens strapped to his lower back. They were partially hidden by his shirt and held thereby a unique leather belt that was made by one of the smaller clan new businesses. Sasuke had not really changed much, just growing physically stronger as a shinobi, matching pace with Menma. His clothing was the same, however he now had a name Jato on his back. However, the one that has grown the most was Sakura. In the short month of them being a team, they had trained her into the ground over and over again, as she had more toned muscles and an all-around better physique. Her clothing also changed. She was wearing black shorts, knee-high kunoichi boots. Her red dress was now replaced with a sleeveless one, with longer and thinner cloths hanging on the front and back, as the changes allow her more movement and agility as well, as she was wearing her headband on her forehead now, with her hair done in two ponytails as two bangs came down her face. Your call, said Naruto. You're the lead Jonin. As Kakashi looked over them, the group sent him a dead glare, like if he was to say something wrong they would attack him. I think they're ready, he said. As the group smiled at that. Very well, Harrison said. I just had the perfect C rank come in for just a team like this. But guys, we'll be in episode right here. If you want to see the next part, do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification, stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other channels. Yes, I need a 4 of them guys, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and your support. So yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Oh yeah, and don't forget to go ahead and turn on the bell notification to see exactly when I post, because yes, I post a whole lot guys. So without further ado, waste no more time. Bye guys.